This is my favorite bullpup in my collection, the KWA F90. And if we zoom in right here on the trigger, this dinky little nipple right here is the fire selector switch. Up for auto and down for semi-lock. Now the reason this design sucks so bad is because for some reason when I want to load a new mag in, occasionally my beefy fingers moving things around just turn it back to full auto. Now, I don't want you to get confused. This is not KWA's fault. This is the design of the real steel replica too, so that's the Australian military's problem. Yet a new company on the market known as Basement Arms that I respect a ton, and I've been working with on testing the hop-up units for these. If you haven't seen those videos, go check it out. Also sent me this. And no, it's not contraband. It is a new fire selector. Kind of looks a lot like the safety selector. Well, that's because it is. On the stock F90, you have your fire and your safe. You'll see very quickly as we come into focus that this guy has a 3 fire. Well, that's because with the additive of these 3 divots, we should be able to semi-lock it and auto-lock it if we so choose. And we no longer have to worry about that nipple at the bottom. Now, I have taken this replica apart countless amounts of times, but this is a part that I have yet to get into. Now, do not forget to rack the charging handle. It's essential we drop the hammer so we can remove the fire control group. Flip it around, and this pin's going to push out from left to right as far as possible, and that'll allow the entire upper and blowback unit to pull out of the F90, and you'll be left with a stock. Now, to access your fire control unit, we have to go through the stock. All you're going to do is press this little pressure pad right here. There's a button. You'll feel it. And push your pin or your sling mount out from the left side. Once it's pushed all the way in, all you're going to do now is slowly and carefully remove the rubber butt pad by sliding it up and pulling it outwards. It should come out with a little convincing. There we go. You see how it's got that latch there? Just be careful. Next, all we're going to do is continue to press this button, and we're going to push it back out from the other side, and the whole thing should come out the left side of the lower receiver. Now, since our hammer's dropped, the entire fire control unit will pop out. Be careful, there's a couple springs, bells and whistles and stuff, pins and whatnot. Just keep that in the upright position. Now, keep in mind there's no spring tension, but right now I'm pulling the trigger, and you see that metal bar that's moving? I believe we have to get that out to allow us to remove the safety selector. I'm left under the impression in order to get that out, we have to remove this screw right above the trigger. Hopefully that's not too tight, and it isn't. And we're going to do this together and see if there's any nonsense springs and stuff that are going to be a nightmare for me to get back in place after this is all unscrewed. I hope not. I hope this is an easy install. It looks like there's also a washer in there, so don't lose that either. That's definitely important. Now, I want to say that metal rod should come out the back now. Let's see if it does. If it does. Ah. There it is. Are there any other parts that I have to be worried about? No. Okay, so that's super interesting. I love seeing what's going on the inside. So we got this big connector. This is what allows us to connect our trigger all the way back into the rear of the replica or the rear of the receiver so we can access the fire control group and drop the hammer. And what about the trigger? Oh, that comes right up and out. And there is a pin in the back or a screw in the back. It doesn't look like there's any excess screws or anything or springs that we have to worry about. Now, I think this guy should be free to push all the way out now, and it looks like it is. Bang! Damn, we're good. So we zoom on in now, and you can see the stock unit and the new unit. The new unit at the bottom, it's 3D printed, and there are extra grooves inside of the new unit, which is hopefully going to allow us to lock it into the fire control settings that we want it to lock into. So let's get that installed now. Now, it looks like it was held in with these little spring tensioners, and it was inserted in this orientation with the fire on the left side, the safe button on the right side, and that little notch at the top that we see right here facing upwards. So we're going to reinstall it exactly the same way, and we'll place this unit down in and just push it straight through. I don't know how easy this is going to be to line it all up and whatnot, Boom. Okay. So now you can see instead of the one position, it looks like we have the safe position, a center position, and a full position. Full. I don't know. We're gonna have to test this out because I don't know what's. I'm simply just gonna reverse engineer it. Let's throw the trigger back into place, and it should just sit flat like that. So what we have to do is get this guy back in line with that trigger, and it's going to sit with the forks all the way in the back, and the flat side facing down with that more like rounded polished side on the top. And we're gonna install it like this, and it has to get right over the top. I don't know if you could see that. I'm going to try and zoom this in. This is tough. And it has to sit over the top just like that and find itself. Okay, I got my fingers out of the way, but you see the those two arms right there and right there, and it sits directly above that little metal C-clamp. Another thing to check that when fully inserted is, can you see it peeping through not the top notch, but the bottom notch inside that trigger unit? Now I'm simply just going to back it up because I know it's in the right place, so I can reinstall my trigger unit. Just wanted to show you what it looked like. That guy should sit all the way down, and then that bar should sit in. You might have to pull the trigger up a little bit, yeah. Now we should see the holes line up. If I can get this guy to push all the way in, I might need something to push it because my fingers are not long enough. Get in there. And after it's pushed all the way in as far as it'll go, you just got to move the trigger around so you can find that little hole. Now let's take our washer and screw. And let's just screw that guy in. Make sure everything's nice and tight in place. Like so. Really excited to test this out. I can't wait to see how it performs and like if it works the way that it advertises. And this should obviously move that bar around. Let's again explore the caboose because that's what we do. So we're going to take our hammer or fire control unit. We're going to slide that guy just straight into the back. It should just slide in with no problems. Very nice. And once those holes line up here, we're going to now take our pin and we're going to insert it into the left side, press this button, and push it as far through as it will allow us to go. Then we can take our butt plate. We're going to line those hooks up, slide it upwards so that we can latch that bottom piece in, and then push it on down. After we push it on down, super simple, just push this guy back out, and then your butt plate is totally locked in place. Now don't mess this next part up. It's super difficult and recommended to be left to professionals. Push this pin out, take the whole upper and blowback unit, and then just really scientifically put it back in place and push the button back down. And then we should be able to drop the hammer. Another wonderful summer day. We're back outside and see, you might be looking at this like, oh, that's just an F90. Well, see, my F90 is designed for people with stupid hands like me. Because where my safety selector switch has a safety mode and a mode that's all the way over that shows these cute little death peas, there's this happy little medium mode that just allows one of the little peas to pop out, and I think that might be semi. What puts me under this impression is because when I push it all the way to the right and all of my little death peas are hidden, the trigger won't move at all. But you notice that little nipple now is still up into the receiver, which is how it worked before. If I do press it one time though, we only allow ourselves a fraction of a pull, which would stop us where we usually were when you have that little nipple out. But in this case, we don't need that. When I switch it all the way over and allow all those little death peas to show, now we get full auto. Because it's like a two-stage trigger, I think they call it. Let's just say everything pans out the way that I plan on it to go, which usually in my case doesn't always happen. Please, this could be such an awesome upgrade. Okay, so first of all, hammer's racked. We got rounds and gas in the chamber, and we are in safe. There's no trigger pull. Now, theoretically, when I press this guy over once, and we got that little funny dot sticking out, when we pull the trigger, we should, even if we pull it as hard as possible with the nipple up, should be forced in a semi only. And just so you can see, pulling the trigger as hard as I can and nothing's happening. Why don't we put it in a fast semi? Don't get mad at me, YouTube. And now, if we half pull the trigger where we would with the dot, if it was pulled out, it should still be semi, but it should also allow me to lay down the trigger. Holy crap. It does. Yeah, suck that. Everybody loves a good happy ending. That was fantastic. If you want to know where to pick one of these up, I'm going to leave a link down in the description. Again, these are simple 3D printed parts, and it would be really meaningful to me if you would show some love and support over at Basement Arms. He's really solving this platform and making it unbelievably usable. So many cool upgrades to come. This is not the last one, but I'll see you on the next adventure. Peace.